Largely government policy that both facilitates connections of what needs to be done, that establishes priorities, and then assists with identifying and providing funding. So, frankly, the notion of governmental agencies understanding the power of this interaction is, I think, the primary way it happens. I particularly appreciate, though, also what Dr. Milgram mentioned about faculty, the power of faculty, because it's faculty working with colleagues. It's people to people. I've learned it's less about organizational structures, organizational policy, and it's more about empowering the mindset of individual faculty to reach out to colleagues in the corporate community that causes things to happen. So it's policy and people that facilitate that taking place.
And that policy also comes from people.
You bet. It's a great circle. It's a great circle.
Professor Milgram, change and innovation are the common interests for all worldwide leaders. Universities also cannot be free from them. What is your opinion on this matter?
I totally agree. I would tell you a story. I am a member of a forum which is called IUT, Improving University Teaching. It includes professors from many universities, I would say, all over the world, that meet once a year and talk about methods to improve university teaching. And I see the frustration of some of them because they know that when they come back to their institute, they can do what they can do in their class, but they cannot change anything else in the institute. And because, as Professor Adam said, it's a policy and people that make the product. And without policy, people can do as much as they can. And so those of them who are lucky, like us, that we have the authority and the power to make change, we can make change. But some of them told us a story. He came back to his university and with some suggestions, and got the answer. This university, of course, in Europe, exists 600 years. You want to change things in 1 or 10 years. And this kind of university will not survive. They will sink. And because changing is the name of the game here. And if universities and institutes will not adapt themselves to the changing times, the changing academic situation, they will not survive.
It seems to me that by education, you can better communicate, and by communication, you can create and change.
I absolutely agree.
Mr. Damodaran, what, based on your own experience, are some obstructions in creating international cooperation in higher education?
The obstacles in cooperation and research, I think, are, first of all, financial, in the sense universities are often under-resourced. Second, there are problems of visa regimes. Scholars cannot travel freely from country to country. There are political obstacles. And I think, thirdly, also, we still have to acquire a sense of collaboration rather than competitiveness. So in other words, people, rather than competing up to a point and then realizing that they can get much further working together, continue to compete and work in silos. And it takes tenacity and a certain purpose, as Dr. Milgram said, when you try and find these connections, say, between Israel and the Republic of Korea, and are able to join the dots together. Now, as far as education, higher education is concerned, I think there are two obstacles. One is, and I'm by no means an expert on the subject, and from what I've gathered, there are far too many spurious institutions giving less than honest degrees. And people go after these, they get the letters after their name, and they feel they're educated, they go into the market, they claim they're educated, but they're always under false colors. And that, in a sense, diminishes the value of real institutions. So I don't know. I mean, I think my senior academic colleagues here would be far more equipped to answer this than I am. But obviously there has to be some measure of standard setting so that employers know the worth of a truly educated employee or student, rather than someone who is ordinary or mediocre but has paid the money to get a dubious degree. But that's essentially, I think, where the dangers lie.
That has been the real problem recently, even in Korea too. President Kim.
Yes.
It is said that the barriers among nations have been broken down. But on the other hand, the gap among nations are becoming larger. What are some measures to deal with this situation?
Yes, actually, with globalizations and poverty is a problem within nations as well as between nations. We have to reduce poverty problem within nations and between nations. And right now, many higher education, they make a league, top school, Ivy League, or whatever, they have their league. Or undergraduate in the poor countries, developed countries, they don't have. There are no actually, the exchanging or the relationship. That is a big problem. So knowledge gap getting bigger and bigger. So what you can solve is exchanges, collaboration, partnership between developed and developing countries. And I'm not talking about technology, because technology, what they need in the advanced country, and they are so high, sophisticated. Actually, it's not useful in developing countries. There's some appropriate technology, like which can be used in the developing country. So appropriate technology is we can train people, educate people, appropriate technology which can be used in their own countries. So I think for solving this the poverty problem and the advanced countries, they should educate people, not their standard. And so what they need